The 109th Grey Cup is set for this Sunday in Regina, Saskatchewan. Let's recap how we got there with TSN Bar Down digital content creator Luca Celebre. Luca, good morning.
Morning, George. How are you?
I'm awesome. Let's start with the big game. Owls at Argonauts. Toronto had the regular season edge 2-1, but those 3 games were decided by a total point differential of 1 point in favor of Montreal. So talk about closely matched teams. How did it all shake out in your mind?
Yeah, closely matched until the end in this one. And the Argos defense coming in, I was curious about them because they led the league with 48 turnovers, weren't able to turn Trevor Harris over, who had a spectacular game as well. But it seemed like for the first time this season, the offense really carried the Argos. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson was brilliant. And I think the boost from Andrew Harris was maybe the biggest difference in this game, getting him back, getting his experience. And that, I think, is the coolest part of the matchup. And you see the trick play from Chad Kelly that really sparked some of the offense. But having Harris and going into a Grey Cup where Winnipeg is the other side and Harris had been there for the first 2 Grey Cup wins that they had, I think that's going to be just a really interesting wrinkle in this matchup if we kind of project forward. But his experience is going to be invaluable going into this week for this Argos team.
It's such a great subtext and sub-story. And for those that don't know, running back Andrew Harris played for the Blue Bombers for those 2 Grey Cups. Down the stretch, like, he missed all these games, 10 of them with a torn pec. It was a big blow, right? He turned what was a 6-month projected recovery into 11 weeks. Talk about, like, miracle healing. What a stud this guy is.
An absolute stud. And in the playoffs, he just plays his best football. We've had some legendary moments over the past 2 playoff runs with Winnipeg where it's kind of been the same thing. He's come back from injury and no one knows if he's going to play, and he plays and he performs spectacularly. And he's one of the best running backs in the CFL of all time and one of the best Canadians of all time. So, yeah, he's amazing.
And when Harris went down, the weight of winning certainly went on quarterback MBT's shoulders. And that rocket arm, he really played as advertised for me.
He really did. And I think McLeod Bethel-Thompson the past few years, it's just been an interesting kind of career that he's had. And I feel like he flashes moments of brilliance all the time. But this was kind of that crowning moment for him. That big game, he finally stepped up. He got the job done. He was the reason why they won. And I think a lot of people thought that he could be that. Nice to see him put that together.
Yeah. And Curly Gittens Jr., the MOC candidate. What a great game for this youngster.
An absolutely great game. And the Argos receiving core, absolutely underrated, I think, as well. When you look at Tavares Daniels, who led the team in receiving yards this game, he's another guy that brings that Grey Cup experience, who had that run with Calgary when those teams were just going to every Grey Cup and eventually losing to the Argos. So maybe he'll be on the winning end of this one with Toronto.
Luca, that's our time. Who do you like? Where's the Bar Down book today?
Oh my goodness, as much as we're talking up Toronto, how can you go against Winnipeg in 3 in a row for the first time in over 40 years for a CFL team?
Either way, it's going to be a great game. Luca Celebre, TSN Bar Down, thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too, George. Thank you.